Brian's gonna go around and go distract my dad for a little while. Whenever he comes back, we're gonna have a surprise retirement party for him. So we have a few little things planned, little jokes and skits, and we're gonna have a time when people can just come up and just roast my father. Say some good things, little jokes, whatever, and it's a really good time. So, if anyone has anything you want to say, or yes, sir. Alright, so I guess, while we're waiting, I'll make everyone more acquainted with the relationship that me and my fiance have had. We've been talking for 5 years, long distance. First time I talked to her on the phone, I knew that was the man that I had it, like, gosh, it's mine. It's always gonna be different, but usually the first version of the story is the one that sticks, so I didn't get that out. I'm just joking. So we have been together for 5 years. It's pretty tough in and out. I think in the second year, whenever I graduated, I went overseas to South Africa, and one thing that God showed me that this was supposed to be my wife is that whenever I was in South Africa, she sent me an email telling me, Alton, I'm going on missions this year. Missions? Like, wow. Well, guess where I'm going? And I'm like, where? South Africa. I was like, what? So it ended up that she was in South Africa at the exact same time that I was in the same city, so I caught a ride to go see her playing at the church, and we got a chance to see each other there, and that was just a lot of confirmation that that God was leading us in the right place, and that was one of the things that happened in our relationship. That's about it. I'm not sure how much longer I can talk. A long time. Well, actually, I'll start from the beginning. With my mom and my dad, I knew that I was about to be born into this world. Everyone can feel free if you want to get up and get something to drink or something to eat. And whenever Brian gets pull up, DJ will wave us down, and we can all get back together and just. We're gonna have my dad sit up here, and we'll just yell surprise when he comes in. And we'll start from there. It's a good idea. However, you guys want to do anything we should do whenever he comes in, or? Sure. Yeah. What are we gonna say?
Happy retirement.
Retirement.
Okay. Surprise, happy retirement. Alright. So everyone just get up and
To graduation. Oh my goodness. But they're keeping it not any bigger.
Come on, have a seat, have a seat. going to be a wedding shower / retirement party. Everyone up here. So my brother come up with it. So 2 times we probably shocked my dad. This is one, then the other one will show you how we did it. But my dad worked for 31 years as a teacher. And he worked for the La Jolla School District, the Mission School District, and he retired in Sugarland. He was a faithful minister, still is a minister. Preached the word hard for about 14 years. He preached hard. He followed the conviction of God in his heart. And he married my mother. And then they've been, honeymooning ever since. Everybody. We're happy. It's too late. Wait. Oh. But and then he was a father. They were a father. They're good parents to us. And we have both of them up here. And we have both of them up here because I feel like both of them are retiring from doing the occupation to take care of the sons. We're old enough now to where we can kind of, fend for ourselves a little bit. Just a little bit. We'll never forget that you guys are our parents. But my dad, he's been a very faithful father, to my brothers as well as a lot of our other friends. A lot of our friends. Now they come over and our dad, the parents, we'd have like 10 guys over the house. Guys, no girls, just guys. And they entertain us. But what we're going to do now is Alf is going to come up and talk about the preaching you did. Brian's going to talk about what you meant to our family. And I'm going to finish off what a good teacher you are. Well, my dad, story that I already remember, my dad being called to ministry. He shared it with me about 2 years before God called me into ministry. He said that, I think when he was 19 years old, he said that he felt that God, called him to preach. He was like, man, I don't want to do that. So he said he waited about 10 years, and after 10 years, God asked him again. And so my dad, he took that call, and from what I know from him, I'm not sure how many years after that he began pastoring, but here in the Valley, he pastored 2 churches. One church was in Raymondville, the other church was in Edinburgh. And he did that for about 10 years, 10 to 15 years. And he would go back and forth. Each Sunday, we would go to one church, then to the other church, and man, it was something else. Just seeing it from my standpoint, now looking back on it, I can see that it was something that was really, really hard. Both of the churches probably combined had about 10 people in each church, and but my dad was really faithful. He went and he taught those people, like if there were 10,000 people there, he was faithful, committed, anything that they would need. I just now found out probably about 2 years ago that sometimes in the middle of the week, in the middle of the night, if someone needed something, they would drive all the way to Raymondville just to talk with them, to be there with them. And he did that faithfully, committed, and it wasn't like now to where you have a lot of pastors who, they won't preach unless they have a real big church, or if they get the book autographed or something like that. This is something that my dad really felt was from his heart to do, and he really loved and cared for the people, and he did that consistently. Let me see, I'm trying to think of a story that was pretty funny that happened during that time. I remember one time, every Sunday, me and my brothers, we were still kind of wayward, so on Sundays, we just didn't look forward to Sundays because we'd be in church all day. We wake up, 7:30, drive an hour to Raymondville. We'd be there from 8 till about, felt like 1 o'clock. And after that, we have an hour off for what? The 3 o'clock service. They don't have those too much now, but they would have an afternoon service from about 3 till about 6, and the part that we would always look forward to is the refreshments. Cake or something. So there was one of these days where they were having stayed pretty late, and as we were coming back, we were driving down Ware Road, and we had the old boot van, and we were about, I think, a mile from a gas station, and we just ran out of gas. And I was like, well, we're almost there, so let's just push. Push the van down the road in the middle of the night. This was a testimony to my parents' faithfulness just to serve, God, and to really go and just be a shepherd over the people that God allowed to attend that church. And I think that's pretty much it. I know that there's a lot more stories, a lot more details in there. This is just an overview of the life that my dad and my mom had. That's all part of this celebration of dad, of my father at the time.
Amen. Amen.
All right, my father, he's been a good dad to us. He'd always take us on fishing trips and stuff like that. And I never knew how patient he was, because whenever we go on fishing trips, we always invite our friends. And like, he was invite like either one or two friends. I invite my friends, invite their friends. And they know how to fish. And they couldn't bait the hooks, so the line would break, they have to fix the line. And our father, he'd help them. Like, he'd fish with his 2 or 3 rods. Then our line would break, and he'd fix their lines. And he'd just do, I don't know, I guess do what any father would do. But he's real patient, because I know, like, I have friends at school, they ask me to do things, and I'm like, man, I ain't got time, man. But like me and my brother Alton, we used to fish in on Memorial Day with a friend of ours, like a friend that goes to this church, and he's a grown man. He's probably about 25. He caught a fish, and he didn't even want to. He wanted to take the fish off his hook. He ran the fish. He was like, "Come on, man, take it off. I want to take it off." And I was like, "Man, I'm probably taking the fish off." And then I finally just took it off, because just so he'd be quiet. Our father, he do that for us all the time, and he's just been there for us, and that's probably about all I can say.
So as everyone knows, my dad was a teacher. He taught us the good and the bad and the ugly. And he taught in La Jolla for a long time. And actually, I didn't realize, me and my brother, me and Alton and Mia watched one of our old home movies probably 2 weeks ago. And on it, we saw a lot of my dad's old students on there. And I guess you know a lot about a teacher when you see a picture or video camera of the students that he's teaching. I mean, they're all smiling. They're all very excited. And whenever you have the camera on, they're all making faces and stuff. And that kind of just showed me that, he brought a lot of joy to students' lives. And I know that no matter where he went and taught, people would listen to him. My dad, he's not the type of person that's going to get out and try to make his voice loud in their parties. But he has a very constant voice, and his voice is the type of voice that demands attention. He's not going to try to hit you over the head to try to get you to learn. He's just going to be very patient with you, and whenever you're ready to listen, he's going to teach you. And he taught us a lot. He taught each one of us a lot. I believe each one of us has a different story that they taught us, but I believe the one thing that my dad taught us is to never give up, and just to remain faithful. And I guess my dad taught us that, probably during one of the lower points of our lives, my dad lost his job. And because my dad really loved to teach, really loved to teach. And when a person has a gift, and then for whatever reason, circumstances happen where you're taken out of that area where you can exercise your gift, it affects you. And I've never seen my dad cry before, but when he lost his job, I saw my dad cry. And I was like, man, this is a serious matter here. So what my dad taught me at that point there is that even at your lowest moment, you still got to be faithful. Because he took a job that was lesser paying, that was not nowhere near as glorious as, as teaching kids to take care of his family. So he taught me, that time there was just how to be faithful and how to be committed to the covenant that God's put you in. Because he could very easily left his wife and left us, but he didn't. And he stayed there with us, so he taught us that.
Now, what else? You taught some of these kids and stuff, right? You taught them math, English, history. What do you teach? My dad was I talked to my dad a lot of times about how he used to teach me. Always talked about how sometimes he felt like he was a babysitter. A lot of kids just didn't have any discipline, so he spent more time trying to discipline the kids and try to teach them morals more so than teach them their academics. But overall, my dad, my parents, my dad and my mother, they taught us a lot, and they still continue to teach. They're teaching people the Word of God now, and that's much more rewarding than any type of education that you give anybody these days. So, Dad, I'm gonna let you know that we love you. We appreciate all your hard work, and now you can just kick back and just be a bum.
Go fishing.
Kick back, relax, and just enjoy life. Because I'm not sure if any of you guys have talked to my dad a lot, but he's been working since he was about 12 or 13. And he'll be turning 62 this year, is that correct? And when a man works, 50 years of his life, that's a long time. Especially when the first, 18 years of working, it wasn't behind no desk or, driving no truck. It's out there in the field working. So it's time for my dad and my mother to relax, to enjoy life, and to, follow the call of God that He has on you for this stage of your life. Because you worked hard to take care of your family for 30 years, now it's time for you just to work hard and enjoy the future you're waiting. So we love you. I appreciate all your hard work. There's not a day we don't thank you, that we don't thank God for you. I say that for Alton, Brian, and myself, as well as our wives. We love you. Thank you for everything you've done. It meant a lot. So what we want to do now is we're going to try to get out of here about the next 20 or 30 minutes, but we want to open up the floor for anybody that has been influenced by my dad. If you live it, it's about 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, and I know it's going to be hard, but you just want to, we don't want to keep everybody here all day, but whoever would have something to say, if you can come up, or you can stand where you are and just give them some good words.
Amen.
All right, I think she's over here.
One time in his life, he was redirecting Christian education. That designed the program, the literature that was to be taught, even the recreation that was to be done at those particular times. So I imagine DJ and Alton, they enjoyed that a lot. Now the next thing I'm going to mention, Mrs. Jackson often reminds me of Mother Bird. Mother Bird, she had 3 bones. The baby was always in her lap. She had one on one side with a hand on one and a hand on the other. So she didn't have enough arms to fit. In other words, with 3 kids, she could have 3 of them. If she had another child, where she would have an arm reach the back. But she was always, and especially my mother, Reverend Jackson was always doing what the Lord had instructed him to do. His beloved educator, like he had love time, he played the piano and sing. He kept things alive. Whenever Reverend Jackson was around, he was willing to serve. He wasn't a man to sit back and say, well, let somebody else do it. I don't know how, I don't want to. He was willing to come forward because of his
I get to really tell you the truth about Bill's school. They say that he's that he's retiring after 31 years. The truth is he's finally getting to graduate. It took him this long to learn enough to do anything else, And so he's finally getting to graduate. But I know at graduation there's much joy. The fruit of the vine is also supposed to represent the joy of life that you have, and your wife wanted you to also have a bottle of the fruit of the vine to just represent the joy that you're to have in these retirement years.
Oh, amen. Amen.
For our family and how the Jacksons have always been really true friends and encouragers in the ministry, and they've always been a blessing to us and their children. I remember when BJ and Alton came to our Bible school, and they were like 4 and 5 years old, and my couldn't come, probably wouldn't know the come. Anyway, I've known them for years, and they've just been a real blessing to us. We love them.
They've been our pastors also.
Amen.
And BJ over there was Peaches for the first year that we knew it. Why my wife thought that was his name?
I have a story to tell you. These are precious, precious people that we were on opposing teams. My son played for Memorial High School, and these guys played for Mission High School. And so we were up there, Donna, Christian, and I, it was awesome. And we heard this lady back on our side clapping for our boys, and I'm like, who is that lady? That was Miss Stephanie. She's the encourager. She's encouraging our guys. I said, I want to meet that lady. And we just immediately bonded, and it was so precious, and it was so neat. And then she came and visited our church, and I had a fit. I fell. Because we were like, that was so neat. And then our boys have always, just been good friends. And just so neat. And then they can give a wonderful Oreo cookie hug. Amen.
I get to go next.
I know.
Well, I just want to say that I hope you will really enjoy the music that you have let many of us enjoy as you retire. Bill singing and his faith has been wonderful. And in fact, Bill and Stephanie and BJ and Malcolm and Brian have been such a wonderful part of our family's lives. It's so weird to see everybody growing up.
No, you're not right. You're not that old.
But I thank the Lord that we are where we are, and that you are retiring and you've had a job that you enjoyed, and I really related to you with the struggle that you had, because you and I know some of the similar difficulties that we had, and yet you were a whole lot more patient than I ever was in that situation, but I am thankful for you and for your whole family and what you all do still in our lives. Love you all.
Brother Billy, I just want to let you know, if you get tired of being retired, I'm in charge of Children's Church here.
Bill and Stephanie, my mother fell in love with these two, and then I believe it was she introduced us to you, and of course meeting them we knew my mother fell in love with them. And mother was also a teacher. She taught for 40 some odd years. And Bill, you made 32 years. Again, today that's a miracle, really, because teaching is extremely, extremely difficult. And I know that many of the things that you went through were not easy things. The kids now are not the same. I think Bill and I come from an era when we first started, kids were so well behaved, and yes sir and no sir. And now they'll actually when I've taught for 24 years, I've been pastor now for 10, and when I left, the kids would actually say, I don't want to do this, just give me a 0, take it, and don't bother. Yeah. And so that was 10 years ago, so only the Lord knows what you've been through the last 10 years. And so I really think, you're going into retirement. Now, there's only one thing that could make it better. And of course, that's where your sons come in. They say that grandchildren They say grandchildren are God's gift to parents for not killing their kids. So now, if you really want to thank your dad, but again, at the right time, I'm sure they will. But we're just thrilled that you're getting this time off. We just thank the Lord for your faithfulness, and in the midst of some very, very heavy struggles, I know you walk faithfully with the Lord. And may God's blessings always be upon you. My wife and I love you like family. You are family to us.
Amen.
And we really, truly appreciate you, and thank you so much for a job well done. God bless you.
Let me share about this couple here. When I came to Desire, I was not a Christian. And Mama Chopper prayed me to what you see now and stood across there.
Oh, wow.
So, as she prayed for me, and she told me years, I heard when she died that she'd pray for me every day. At a point in my life, I was really down. But I realized that as I learned that she'd pray for me, suddenly I just get back in my spirit. So there's a linkage here that goes deeper than the bones, it's in the heart. Because they are my family. I love them dearly. And they've been our pastors also.
I am just so blessed to have you in my life. I have grown just by listening to you and by seeing your walk, Jesus. You've been such an inspiration to me. And whenever I've needed a friend, I've always known who I can turn to, and it's been with you. And sometimes, you know, the Lord knows what we go through. You know, sometimes there's friends that are closer to you than a brother, and that's what they are to us. Sometimes I think Stephanie knows what I'm going through even before I even acknowledge it myself. And I just want to thank you for being such faithful friends, for being so faithful in praying for us and in being there. And always, as been said this afternoon, being such encouragers. You are an encouragement to us. And I thank the Lord for your boys. We have seen them grow, and you have to be very proud of your sons and the girls that are coming in now, and have come in and are coming in. And God has that special one for Brian too.
You know, one of we always looking for dynamic services and fantastic services. There was one service I remember in particular. The Jacksons came, and at the end of the service, it was them and me, and she was on the floor, and she was laughing, and she couldn't get up, and you know, I think really she spent the night in the car, because I don't know if she was able to get her out. But she was drunk in the spirit. And she looks at me and she says, when you people throw a party, you really throw a party. And I knew, you know, what being drunk in the spirit was, but that's because they have hearts that look for God. Amen. May we all be in the same place. Amen.
Well, you two, you know, I'm late as usual, but I would not have missed it for the world. I sat back there and I said, well, I'll just speak from this corner. And then I thought, I said, no way, I've got to go there, put my hands on them. Amen. I love them. They're wonderful people. I moved to the Valley about 14 years ago, and I have to say, I have known them for that period of time. They have not changed one bit since I first met them. They've seen us raise our children. My daughter tickled me the other day when Ms. Jackson phoned about serving. I wanted to let her know the influence that she's had on our children. This is a teenager, 17 years old. Asked her to come and serve, and she said, oh, Mom, do I have to go? Hey, you make the choice. And she thought, she said, you know, that's Miss Jackson. I've got to go. Good choice, yes. But her influence, both their influences, it's just been magnificent. You know, I know that we're proud of the children. I'm extremely proud of the children, and I'm extremely proud of the children. I think they're a model for prayer. And I'm just honored that I've had the opportunity to meet them, be friends with them, and God bless them. Amen.
told my husband today, I said I wasn't going, but I got to go. That's Alfred. Because when he was growing up, he was my little boy. He come to Bethel, and nobody kept Alfred but me. And so I'm so thankful that they all choose it the right way.
Amen.
Because they had parents to give them the right direction. And talking about kids of today, I know my son's a teacher, and they're something else. But they don't have God in their heart, some of them. And so if you have Him, you got everything. Amen.
Did any of you here actually get a chance to be a colleague of Bill's, a teacher of Bill's? Well, I did. But I want to tell you something. We know that what a blessing that the Jacksons, both Bill and Stephanie and the whole family have been to our church, and those all of us who know them. But maybe you don't know about a job that Bill and I had together. We worked on a Saturday. We were teaching kids on a Saturday. Now, these kids didn't especially want to be in school during the week. And so on a Saturday, but anyway, we got the kids, coerced these kids to be in this program, and I was teaching English, and Bill taught math to them. I just want to tell you that it took somebody special to do it. And these kids came from probably the poorest neighborhoods in McAllen. They're really pretty much disadvantaged kids, gang kids, that kind of thing. Some kids are pretty sweet, and some pretty rough kids. But those kids responded to Bill Jackson. They responded, and it took somebody special. And Bill, those kids aren't here, but I want to thank you for those kids.
Amen. Amen.
I try to be fun. Okay, I just, I notice I'm probably the youngest person going to come up here. But these have been like parents to us, and I'm sure I can speak for everybody, been like parents to all of us, just like what I said. What I'd like to say is my mother, when she was young, she had 4 kids, she was single, and there was these people who lived downstairs from them, good friends. And the parents of those people were a black couple, and they said, hey, why don't you just give us all 4 of your kids for a while, and so you can go ahead and get on your feet. So we went to Michigan to live with these people, not these people, for about a year and a half. And those were the golden years of our life, what I call golden years. And these people kept us in our home, fed us, took us to church, and that's where we met Jesus. We were like 5, 6 years old. And then, of course, later, fathers came in, split families. I'm all over the place. Next thing, I'm in Texas. These people later on came to pass away, and we've always recognized them as our grandparents. And to me, they were the only real grandparents we had. The ones on my mom's side, they were all messed up. The ones on my dad's side, they're all messed up. We don't never see them. But they were real and close to our, I got 30 seconds. Close to our hearts. And they adopted us, and we had no relation to them at all. But to the day that we put them in their grave, they were our grandparents, and today they are. And when I came to this church, I met Stephanie and Bill, and I could just see that same anointing upon them as we're on this couple. And I was like, oh, she's going to be like a mom or a grandma. And so in my heart, I was adopting him, right? And the next thing you know, Stephanie comes up to me and she goes, you're going to be my adopted son.
See, we moved from Minnesota down here. First of all, I'm from Africa. We moved from Minnesota down here. And any state we go to, we always, before we move, we always pray to God, Lord, when we get there, bring people across our way that will be friends to and that will be friends to us. And when we got here, they were the first event. And since then, they've been family friends. They've been family members, not just family members, but our family members. I mean, I have 5 children. When we go here, we just will tell you, we call you. If you, look, listen, if you want to go anywhere, just call on me. I will babysit your children. I mean, these 2 people have sweet spirit. I emulate Mr. Jackson, like the song said, he has calm spirit, he's so quiet. That's the sweet. So I emulate him whenever I'm talking to my children. I don't want to raise my voice. Because what you tell them will pass by, they will hear. So I thought, like him, that they are very, very sweet. I don't know, I mean, words are not enough for me to describe these people. And for their children, look at how gorgeous they are.
Mom, Dad. Privilege of being the first daughter. She knows her place. I mean, there may be more to come. But the first time I came, I was so nervous going to Jackson House. I'm like, okay, BJ's already a PK, which means he's just going to flip out on me sometime soon. And just ask the pastor, and, I got to be goody-goody. So I sat there, and I was sitting on the edge of the room. And his parents were at home. We got there, like, good. I can just run all the way back home. I'm like, I'm in the valley. There's nowhere to go. And so I'm sitting on the couch. His mom comes in. The first thing I know is her laughter. As soon as she walks in the door, she saw the car. She just starts laughing. And I was like, okay, we're going to like each other. And everything. I was so nervous that night. The first night we met, we just started to cry. Because it's just in our spirit we knew that this is like And Dad, the first day, we actually started talking. It was a Sunday after we had been there. We went to Mexico for dinner. And he opened the door for me when I got out of the car. And he took my hand. And BJ came over there, and he's like, excuse me, I'm walking my daughter into the restaurant. And he was like, excuse me. And he had to wait and grab his mom. I was like, oh, I'm a daughter now. It was the first day we had ever talked or anything. And so I hope one job you never retire from is being the greatest father-in-law in the whole world. Amen. Don't ever retire. Amen. I just want to say I love you both. Amen. And you're not in-laws. Amen. All right.
Well, I've been waiting.
Stay so far.
Oh, it's okay, John's like you cried. All this will work. So this lady, I guess the first time maybe was like Jan said, except she was still on the mission side that time. Good shot, Robert. I thought, who's on a mission? Y'all know. And it was this lady, and we met, and oh gosh, through the years. I don't know if a while ago when she was calling us up to pray, you saw her hesitate for a minute, and then she said, Miss Christian, because she's called me Cream for so many years. I know she was thinking, I know her name is Donna. All I call her is Cream. But, oh gosh. Oh, I think it was so ugly when I cried. My children are black. And this lady, when this couple adopted them, and my daughter's name was Stephanie. And I have just prayed for them through the years. And she has sent me a mother's promise book as well. And he's always been calling and getting the boys, let's go fishing, let's go fishing. And just through the years, how they have been at all their events, Robert and Brian, the high jump and everything, and just all through the years of basketball, the way they have prayed for my daughter. I mean, they would both call and say, we've been praying for your daughter and to keep her safe and for the boys. And I still think when you said a while ago the
that Brother Billy spent at mission schools, or the charter schools. What I've heard from the schools, from some of the teachers, I know he's left a lot of prints there. The Lord is a lot of fruit there that the Lord is going to bring to harvest. A lot of the administrators, a lot of the influence that he had there, we're going to see in the future in Cherryland schools that there's going to be a lot of Christians coming about because of what he planted there. So we thank you for everything you've done.
It would be a wonderful fruit.
Amen.
And she's my girl's auntie.
Amen. Aunt.
That's how all the time.
But about 15 years ago, my family and I moved here to the Valley, and Stephanie was one of the first black people I met. And I remember Stephanie calling me and inviting me over, my kids and me over to come visit. And she'd always told me she'd never had a girl and wanted a girl, and so she asked me if she could adopt my daughter, but was kind of a surrogate, surrogate mom. And Stephanie and Bill, over these last 15 years, have been real friends. They are genuine. What you see is what you get. And these are people who will do anything for you at any time of the day, and they serve God from their heart. And I have appreciated Stephanie and Bill over the years. I really have. In some of my darkest days, Stephanie and I would pray together. One time we had a Bible study together. We saw God do wonderful things through that Bible study. And Stephanie and I many days would pray together and just lift each other up in the spirit. And I just really appreciate them. I appreciate Bill. He has been the same way ever since I've known him. He's been humble, he's very meek, very godly, a spiritual man. And I just appreciate genuine Christians. I really do. And I've appreciated their testimony and just genuineness and love for God and genuine love for people over these years. And I just want to let them know that I love them and I thank them. And we have prayed for their boys and continue to pray for their boys all these years. And we just expect God to do wonderful things. And not only with the boys, but also in Stephanie's family. We're still praying for her mom and siblings. We just congratulate Bill. And we know God has wonderful things for you and Stephanie.
Hallelujah.
Let me tell you about Little Joanne. She came to our life during a time when we weren't Pentecostal, but yet we know what we were. We had Baptist in between, and we had Apostolic. And within that time frame, Joanne got a new house, my husband got his job back, a young lady who had been pregnant by her husband, got married, a corporate person who was in our group, who decided to move back home. She also moved back home. So she's a great instrument in our life, in our son's life, and she prayed for us when we were dying out. And during one of the Lord's times, she was there for us. I could say like Mary, their life, and also find way back to church. It's also been part of our history of bringing us back where we're supposed to be.
Amen. Thank you, Jesus.
I'd like to thank the Jacksons for being so good. And not only talk, but walk the walk. I talk to Brother and Sister Jackson probably 2 or 3 times a week. I have some problems in business and things I can always call. And they always got time to hear and pray with me. And Sister Jackson's comes by every Friday, and she's been trying to work on my office staff there, lead them to the Lord, and I think there's a couple there that he's the only one who could lead them. And they have a big heart.
Amen.
There's another Reverend Jackson's a lot more famous. But this one, I think, has done more for the kingdom of God. God bless you. Praise the Lord.
Just want to say congratulations to you. I know I've gone through retirement already, and I know that you're going to get busier than ever. One way or another, there'll be things to do, and the Lord will be with you. And He's got plans for you. Amen. We have lots of laughs together. And he likes sweets too.
I like this box now. Him and I one night over at Padre, we were up on this, just a pier there, and it was long way down the water, and we had a long bucket, no, it wasn't a bucket, it was a stringer. We should have a bucket, but we had a stringer down with all our fish on it. And there was probably about a bunch of fish, but we kept feeding the top, but the bottom was
Get nibbled away.
eaten up with, what was it, those, porpoises, yeah. They come on down there, they were swimming, they just smile as they go by. Take 2 more of my fish off. They didn't have to work for them. Most of them throw them off the
Thanks for the tip. Wow. What can we say?
What can we say about you? These are our neighbors. We've known them for, how old is Brian? He was in diapers when I 18, you know. We did, like a family. We take care of each other. And I'm not much of a person talking, you know, like this.
I start crying. Everything. I mean, I cannot.
But now, congratulations on your retirement. That's all right.
But my dad.
We'll see you. This time I might go fishing with you.
You wave and he was already an old story. Every day I would come from work, he would say, Miss Jackson, wave at me with a bike. He was in the bike. And for me, it was already boring. Every day he would say the same story about Mrs. Jackson going down the street, and I already knew about that. And he was at home. So my dad really, really enjoyed when he was alive, these neighbors. And he would always talk about Mrs. Jackson, Mrs. Bill Jackson. You know, my dad. He was. So I always admired that about my dad. But even though there were black people, for him, it was just the same like any other people. He always say that.
You know, we were very fortunate. We moved into a community. Our sons would play with their children and children in front. And I really believe if anything we've been needed, they've been there for us. Anything if they need that, we've been there for them. You guys have been great neighbors to us. We love you.
They are our neighbors, you know. We treat our neighbors right. They watch us at home, we're not there. And we do the same thing. If we need anything, I mean, that good chicken you ate this today was cooked on his grill. If you need a good barbecue grill, he will fix you one that will last.
We need one. Amen. Which side of you? Amen.
Well, I may be the last one, but if you
the way it happened with me. The principal said, I'm going to put this boy in your class because he needs a father figure. Thanks a lot. I'm going to put this person in your class because he needs a good father figure. And so it ends up that I have all the visiting problems. But you take those kids and you work with them and you try to live a godly life in front of them. And you know what? They produce for you. They work. They produce for you. Fortunately, Billy's retiring, and I'm going on my 27th year next year, and I hope to work 7 or 8 more, and then maybe I'll be sitting right. But I just want to congratulate you. Wonderful couple.
Amen. Amen.
Okay, if that's it, as a kind of, something kind of funny, a story, well, whenever my dad used to go around preaching in the churches, our last name's Jackson, so our dad, I think he had a vision that maybe one day we would all be this musical act. My dad, he could play the piano, the guitar, anything. So he said, he stretched out his hand and prayed over us that we could sing. And as you can see, there's no singing group here. As a tribute to my dad, for this one time only, we have the Jackson Trio are going to get together and sing.
All right.
Now, everyone, if someone starts crying, just know that it's not the Holy Spirit. Just make sure you know. It's a song that our dad taught us to sing. It is a real simple song. The title is Nobody's Fault But Mine. And, it talks about people that, the chorus goes, nobody's fault but mine. If I make it to heaven, nobody's fault but mine. I know that was a song that our dad had to sing when we weren't saved, and trying to sing it after a while. I was like, wait, nobody's fault. But we're gonna change a few words, to make it, a little bit more of, what, we think our dad was really saying. And I'm going to play the part of my dad, so I'm gonna be the lead. Okay. Nobody's fault but mine. Make it to heaven. Nobody's fault but mine. Take out the trash. Nobody's fault but mine. Get another whooping. Nobody's fault but mine. Make a failing grade. Nobody's fault but mine. Forget to make your bed. Nobody's fault but mine. Nobody's fault but mine.
Oh, awesome.
That kind of concludes our little program. Does anyone else have anything else to say? Anybody? Someone else? That's it. Then we're going to ask our dad to close this out. We're going to eat some cake when we're done.
I just like to say that, very thank you, guys. I had a little bit of wonder. Not just like this, but I would like to say I'm so grateful for what you've done and for you being here. And I always say I'm thankful. I wait to hear what you have to say. And God bless me to live and always say that, well, the word said, to let your light so shine, that men may see your good works, and that you may be glorified in heaven. And I thought about a lightning bug, okay? It's for everybody. See, the lightning bug really shine when it's dark, and it has stuff in it. So, you are the light. We are the light. And the stuff is in us that's going to shine. Which is the Holy Spirit. The Lord said, let it shine. And that's what we try to do. To walk the life, to live the life. And we thank you. We appreciate you. This is, something like this has never happened in my life. Maybe a couple of times. And so it really overwhelmed me. And I'm very grateful to do things and be serving pastors, that pastors you servants God, and seeming like it doesn't make any difference. So for someone to say thanks, it means a lot. So we appreciate you today, and it's just your friend.
Any chance we can get you to sing a song?
Let's stand, maybe about it. I know the song, it's okay. Everybody, okay? The song was good. It says, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can. Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can. Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can. Father, we thank you for your presence, for your Holy Spirit. Father, we thank you for your grace and your mercy. Thank you, Lord, for keeping us as the apple of your eye in the shadow of your almighty wings. Thank you for going before us, and then your Holy Spirit rest upon us and scattering the enemies around us. Thank you, Lord, that we need not to only understand. Everything we acknowledge you, you direct our path. Father, we give grace and thank to you. Father, we thank you for being able to enjoy and celebrate Elton's and Demetrius this show and his preparation for marriage. Father, we just unite with all corporately the prayers and that's gone up today. Father, we just that you will hear them, that you will answer them. Father, they will keep their hearts on you, and that you keep your mind on them. You give them perfect peace to his mind. Lord, as we leave this place, Father, and enjoy the rest of the celebration with them, we want to give you thanks and praise and honor. We bless and ask in Jesus' name.
Here's some chicken. I think there's some chicken left. One turkey chicken back on Tuesday.
You know, that's okay.
You're on camera with that too.
Go sit down, Amy. Well, then sit down. No. Okay. Go sit down. You're in the way. Sit down.